without question. Next. Okay, saan ba nanggaling yung idea that sex is for procreation? Procreation means the reproduction of children. Sa sex yung mag-asawa, kailangan ng produkto niyan, magkaroon sila ng anak o maraming anak. Okay, galing yan kay St. Augustine, who was a former member. He was the auditor of the Manichaeans. It's a Gnostic sect a long time ago. Mga 2nd or 3rd century ito. That believes in the evil nature of the body and the holiness of the soul that the body imprisons. Next please. The Manichaeans thought that the need to rescue or liberate the forces of life imprisoned in matter, that is in the human body. This is done, among others, by depriving the needs of the body. To reproduce bodies that imprison life is to serve evil. Iyon ang kanilang pananaw. Kaya nga ang procreation sa kanila ay masama. Procreation is evil because if you reproduce children, you are reproducing bodies, and bodies are matter, and anything material is evil. Did you follow the logic? Yan ang logic nun eh. Just follow the logic. Reproduction of children means the reproduction of evil. Next slide please. This explains the contraceptive mentality of the Manichaeans. They would not encourage that sex would result in reproduction of children because this would mean the reproduction of evil. Thus, procreation is evil. Dating miyembro si St. Augustine ng Manichaeans. Ang nangyari kasi, tumiwalag siya. Maraming issues kasi, humiwalay siya sa grupo. Next slide, please. Sir. When St. Augustine became a Christian and a bishop of Hippo, he was compelled to make a stand as a church leader. The obvious corrective to the Manichaean teaching was the affirmation that, anong affirmation na yan? That procreation is good and that in marriage only, procreation can justify the sexual act. Doon nag-umpisa yung turo ng simbahan that sex is for procreation. Pero kinwalify pa ni St. Augustine yan. Next slide please. St. Augustine insisted in every marital sexual intercourse, it is essential that the couples have the intention to procreate, even if not all sexual acts could result in reproduction. At least yung intention nandun. At least yung intention. The intention to procreate was the rule. It became the rule at that time. Next topic please. For St. Augustine, procreation justifies the marital act. However, he would counsel couples to abstain from sexual intercourse as soon as possible. Bakit gano'n? Makikipag-sex sa asawa tapos huwag ka abstain ka agad. Kasi si St. Augustine kasi, ang kanyang sexual pleasure is suspicious. Yes, you can have all the sex you like, but do not enjoy it too much. And if you're a married person, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Yun ang isang tanong na hindi na nasagot ni St. Augustine. Okay, next week. Okay, this time we will jump to the 13th century St. Thomas Aquinas. The ideas of St. Thomas Aquinas reflects the worldview of St. Augustine, and it takes the Augustinian legacy a step further. Dinagdagan niya ng isa eh. Ito yung dinagdag niya. Procreation is the purpose of sex, and this is in accordance with the natural law. Hindi ko na papaliwanag yung natural law. It's a very complicated theological concept. Na siguro pagdating niyo sa EN 140, papaliwanag na lang ng teacher. Next slide. The reason for St. Aquinas is itself a gift from God to human beings and able to them to discern in nature the purpose of life or things, including sex and marriage. Next slide, please. Ito ang maganda sa sinabi ni St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas Aquinas appeals to our knowledge of the animal's copulation that naturally results in the reproduction and nature of offspring. This appeal to animal behavior is the way to discover the rational norm for human sexual conduct. Anong ibig sabihin yan? Anong sinabi ni St. Thomas Aquinas? The purpose of sex is procreation. Why? Sabi niya, observe nature. Tingnan nyo yung mga hayop. Pagka nag-mate sila, they produce offspring. So, ganun din yung tao. Mga tao, sex, they should produce children. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, he compared human sexual behavior with animal sexual behavior. Kung ano daw ginagawa ng hayop, dun din daw ginagawa ng tao. Of course, maraming criticisms ngayon yung concept na yan. Halimbawa, ang mga hayop may mating season. Ang mga tao ba meron? Do we have a mating season? I mean, is our sexual behavior equal to that of animals? So, yun ang mga questions ngayon ng mga theologians. Mukhang hindi yata pwedeng i-compare. But it was the idea of St. Thomas Aquinas. Continue, let's continue please. Okay, marital sex is for procreation and the education of children. And then yung procreation andun pa rin. Okay, next slide please. The physical makeup of sexual organs naturally tells us that these operate for some purpose, for procreation. Ito na yung theological interpretation. Sexual organs are naturally ordained by God for procreation. So binigyan niya na theological meaning. Next slide please. All these ideas are assumed in the document Humanae Vitae. If you read the document Humanae Vitae, naka-assume lahat yung mga ideas na yun. Okay, question. Why must the official teaching of the Catholic Church change? Kailangan na raw palitan. The Church today is facing many forms of social pressure. Various contemporary social conditions as well as values and ideologies exert pressure on the official church to change its outmoded teachings on marriage, sex, family planning, and birth control. Okay, what are some reasons? First, well, a long time ago, during the period of antiquity, it was rational and natural for people to value large families. Okay lang, malaking pamilya mo na. Why? The more children, the better. You have to keep in mind, a long time ago, people lived in an agricultural setting. Agricultural societies demanded more hands for work. So yung isang ama, gusto niya marami siyang anak para paglaki ng anak niya, tulungan siya sa pagsasaka. Farming. Kaya nga, mas maganda kung mas maraming lalaki kaysa sa babae. And besides, it was a male-dominated society. Besides, the life expectancy rate was no more than 25 to 30 years old. So a long time ago, 25 to 30 years old, matanda ka na. So maaga pa lang, nag-aasawa ka na, no? For the next years of your life, you produce children. No? Medicines were still not available to prolong life. This is where one could understand the biblical text, go out and multiply. So yun ang ibig sabihin niya. Kaya sinabi ng go out and multiply, konti pa lang kasi yung tao noon. And it was written in an agricultural setting. But you have to keep in mind that go out and multiply is not a commandment. It's a blessing. It is a blessing. Hindi tayo inuutusan ng Diyos, hindi tayo tinatakot, tayo ay binibindisyonan. Because a long time ago, konti lang kasi yung tao. No? Next slide. Okay, ito isa sa malaking problema ng Catholic hierarchy sa panahon ngayon. Yung mga kababaihan na medyo assertive na ngayon. Today, women have come of age as they also readily enjoy the right to equal protection of the law, something women of the olden days did not have. Kaya medyo sakit sa ulo sa Vatican yung mga progressive thinking mga women groups, no? And women organizations. Yung mga feminists ba, ayan, medyo problema sa simbahan yan. Scientific discoveries have also shattered the assumption that sex is for procreation. And here are some examples. Believe it or not, the ovum was only discovered in 1827. It was only discovered in 1827. Okay, joint role of the sperm and egg cell in the generation of offspring in 1875. And fertilization was possible only a fraction of the menstrual cycle. It was known in 1923. Take note yung pangalawa, no? Joint role of the sperm and egg cell in the generation of the offspring. Ganito kasi yung pananaw nila noon. Alam niyo yung similya ng lalaki, yung semen. Akala nila noon, since wala pang microscope noon, akala nila yung similya ng lalaki, punong-puno ng maliliit na tao. Maliliit na tao. Ngayon, pagka yan ay na-deposit sa vaginal canal ng babae, isa lang doon ang mabubuhay. So what will happen to the rest? They will simply disintegrate. Because wala pang acknowledge noon ng sperm and egg cell.